I've never liked horror. Not movies, not stories, nothing. People think it's because I get scared easily, but that's not it. The truth is, I saw something when I was a kid that stuck with me. Something I was never supposed to understand, and honestly, I still don't. It was a VHS tape at my grandma's house. I used to stay with her almost every weekend. Saturday mornings were normal. We'd go out to her garden, pick tomatoes straight off the vine, and somehow they always tasted better than anything at home. Then we'd go to the mall. She'd buy me candy, drag me through clothing stores while I complained, the usual stuff. Nothing about it felt strange. Nothing felt wrong. It was only at night when things changed. She always went to bed early, and every single time before she left, she would sit me down on the couch, turn on the old tube TV, and put in the same VHS tape. She never asked what I wanted to watch, never gave me options. It was always that tape. She'd press play, pat me on the head, and walk away. And I'd just sit there, watching it. The screen would flicker, and this old black and white cartoon would start playing. There was this egg-shaped man walking down a blank white road, waving his arms around like rubber. In front of him was a swan, its neck bending in this unnatural way, swaying side to side with the music. The audio sounded wrong, like it was mixed with static, warped, distant. It didn't feel like something made for kids, but I couldn't look away. Then, without warning, the cartoon would cut out. A real human skull would suddenly fill the screen. Every time, I jumped. There was no music, just this faint crackling static. The camera would slowly zoom out, revealing the entire skeleton. It didn't move, but it felt like it could at any second. Like it was waiting, like it knew I was there. I'd pull my knees up to my chest and just stare at it. Too scared to move, too scared to even look away. Then it would cut back to the cartoon like nothing happened. The swan, the egg-shaped man. Now a dancing skeleton joined them. Everything moved in this slow, meaningless rhythm. And for a moment, you almost felt safe again. Until it cut back. This time was a face. A real person, but wrong. The skin looked damaged, pulled tight in some places, missing in others. Its mouth hung open as it groaned, slowly stumbling toward the camera. As a kid, I thought it was a zombie. Now, I'm not so sure. I remember crying at that point. Not loud, just sitting there, shaking, hoping it would stop. But it never stopped. The tape kept going. Back to the cartoon again. More characters this time. A mummy, slowly unwrapping itself as it rocked back and forth. And then all of them stopped moving. They turned and looked directly at the screen, like they were checking if I was still watching. And then it happened. A man appeared, covered in blood. The camera was too close to see what was happening, but you could hear it. You could hear him screaming, begging, "No, please no," while something off-screen kept hitting him. Over and over. That sound didn't feel like acting. That's the moment I always broke. I'd start crying, rocking back and forth, wishing someone would come in and turn on the lights. Wishing my grandma would come back, even just for a second. But she never did. She never came back. The tape would end the same way every time. The cartoon would return one last time, but now everything was gone except the mummy. It hung there from a noose made of its own bandages, slowly swaying. Then a title card appeared. The end. And after that, just static. I don't remember ever turning the TV off. I don't think I could reach it. I would just sit there until I fell asleep on the couch. Every single time. This went on for years. And then it just stopped. One day, my mom came to pick me up, and I remember hearing them arguing in the other room. I couldn't understand what they were saying, but it was serious. After that, we never visited again. I didn't question it. Kids don't question things like that. I didn't go back to that house until I was 36. My grandma had passed away. My mom gave me a key and told me I could go through the house, take anything I wanted. So I went, and everything was still there. The same couch, the same TV, the same bookshelf. I looked for the tape immediately, but it wasn't there. I checked everywhere. The living room, the drawers, even her bedroom. Nothing. I was about to give up when I noticed something strange. A picture frame hanging low on the wall. too low. I moved it, and behind it were two small holes in the wall. And when I looked through them, I froze. They pointed directly into the living room, right at the couch, right at where I used to sit. I just stood there, staring through those holes, trying to make sense of it. The angle was perfect. Whoever stood there could see everything. The TV, the couch, me. And that's when it hit me. She never watched the tape with me. Not once. But she always knew I stayed on that couch. She always knew I didn't turn it off. She always knew I watched the whole thing. I didn't find the tape that day, but I stopped looking for it, because now I'm not sure I want to know what was on it. I'm more concerned about why it was there in the first place, and why my grandma needed to watch me while I watched it.